Hey everybody, it's me, Malanka. Um, I've received a couple private messages wanting to know a little bit more about how Kyle and I met and how we became engaged and married. So I'm gonna try and do a quick little story here. If it has to be made into a couple parts, I'll do that just so I can um, upload them. So I met my now ex sister in law in university. We had a biology class in our first year of university together. And I remember walking into biology and sitting down beside her. And I was always so friendly. I just sat down, "Hi, my name is Malanka, and nice to meet you." And we just connected. So at the end of our first year of university, she had invited me over to her boyfriend's parents' place for a bonfire. I was actually going to borrow one of her calculus textbooks because I was taking it over the summer, and that's where I met Kyle. He was in the garage working on his dirt bike and his wife beater. Um, he wasn't quite 18 yet, and from what he told me, it was basically love at first sight. Now, we were getting ready for the bonfire, and for whatever reason, everyone was drinking Kool-Aid with vodka. And he asked me to hold it so that he could go get some old van seats that they were going to use to sit around the bonfire with. And I remember telling him, yeah, sure, I'll hold it, but there's no guarantee that it'll have anything left in it. And sure enough, I ended up drinking it. We had a good laugh about that. We were all sitting around the bonfire enjoying some fun times. There was music playing, and an Evanescence song came on, and I started singing. And Kyle gave me this look of like shock because, yes, I can sing. I sang "O Canada" for a local MJHL hockey team, and I love to sing. So yes, I do have a voice, and it seemed to really catch his attention because he also plays guitar. And when it was time for me to leave, he walked me to my vehicle. He was very persistent on that. And he did this little spin thing on me. And I remember laughing my butt off because I ended up on my butt. And he was so embarrassed. And he ended up asking for my phone number. And I said, well, go ask so and so for my number. And within 15 minutes, I was receiving text messages from him saying, let me know when you get home safe, this, that, whatever. So that begins the love bombing. He was constantly bringing me some little gifts, some little trinkets. He was very persistent. He wanted to date me. We went on a double date with his brother and now sister-in-law. We went for a movie, and then we did the double date at a bowling alley where his sister-in-law was actually trying to hook me up with one of her friends. And Kyle ended up putting a stop to that because he's like, I'm interested, she's mine, and pushed that friend away. At that time, Kyle didn't even have a license because he had lost it for speeding. That should have been one of my first red flags. He was so persistent to be my boyfriend. And one of my rules, and I think it's my choice, it's my life. I didn't want a smoker in my life. I didn't like kissing an ashtray. I didn't like the health issues that came along with it. I just didn't want a part of it at all. I convinced my mom to quit smoking in 1997, and I didn't want that in my life. And Kyle smoked, but he wanted to quit. He wanted to quit for me, and I said that wasn't a good enough reason. He needed to quit for himself, because if he quit for me, there's going to be resentment. There's going to be major issues. He's going to keep on wanting smokes because he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for someone else. And that ended up resulting in a lot of issues throughout our relationship. Come 6 months into our relationship, he had ended up getting me a promise ring, saying that he really wanted to be with me. I did tell him yes at his 18th birthday, which was 2 months into knowing each other, and told him, this is your chance, don't fuck it up. But, so yes, 6 months into our relationship, he gave me the promise ring, and then we ended up buying my dog. He really wanted it, but he became my dog, Rambo. He's still with me. He's 12 years old now. He was my first child. Later on his first birthday, we realized that he actually was born the exact same day that my mom's mom had passed away. And he's always been glued to me, very protective of me and our kids. He right now has heart disease, and I don't know how much longer we have with him. He's on lots of medications. He has difficulty breathing. Just kind of monitoring quality of life at this point. But anyways, that's a whole other story. Kyle was doing a lot of love bombing, and he really was adamant about having me and keeping me and being in a relationship with me. But when we had fights, it was scary. And I know I should have left a long time ago. He would punch holes in walls. He would throw things. And when he did that, I would completely shut down. I would go for long walks. I would go for like 4-mile walks just to get away from him. I would lock myself in bathrooms or bedrooms or whatever. I would find a place to hide to try and get away from him. And if I completely shut down and I just couldn't talk because I was just so overwhelmed, it made him even madder. Like he would get so angry because he needed me to talk right at that instant. And the love bombing started happening less and less throughout our relationship. It got to one point that Kyle started blaming me for ruining his life. I did this wrong, I did that wrong. And I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. And it turned out that he was actually smoking behind my back. And he admitted to it. And at that point, I had ended it. I'm like, you blame me for all this, yet I didn't do anything. It was all you. Which he repeated that when our marriage was basically done. He was blaming me for ruining his life. I did this, I did that. Yet he was the one that was the problem. I'm going to end this part here, and I'll pick up with part 2 to continue the story.